Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Knesset coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the first day of August in the year 2023. How is it already August 1st? I can't believe how fast this year is going, isn't it, though? I mean, it is just flying by that we are here, and it is the first day in August already. This has got to be probably the quickest year. I mean, and there's been other years that have gone by quick, but this one has just been a blur already. One day into August, Christmas is close already, if you can imagine that. They're already doing back-to-school sales and all that sort of stuff, so it's incredible how fast time goes, especially when you get older. For anybody who's young out there, enjoy it while you can. I want to welcome in my uncle, Mike Slane, who is in Carlsbad, California, joining us here 3 time zones away. Nice to see you, Uncle. And he, of course, comes here on what is also known as Trade Deadline Day in Major League Baseball. And if you are a baseball fan of either of the 2 teams that call New York home, you know this has been a brutal summer. It has been awful. And the Mets just keep on finding ways to be bad and trading away just about everybody now. Max Scherzer went, David Robertson went, and there is a big amount of speculation that Justin Verlander is next to go and that he may even go back to the Houston Astros, and I'm sure that doesn't make Yankee fans all that pleased either to hear that Verlander may be going back to the place where he won a Cy Young Award just a year ago. But man, this has been a brutal baseball season, and I've given up. I don't even watch the games anymore. It's not that it's just boring. I mean, there's just nothing to watch. Last year was the completely opposite, where you didn't want to miss a game. But this year, for both teams, it's just been brutal. So we'll see what happens. The 6 o'clock deadline today, or is it 4 o'clock? I don't even know when it is. It's sometime today. But we will see what happens there. We also welcome in today our good friend Manny Ventoso Jr., who is watching us today. Manny, always good to see you. Thank you so much for coming by today, as you do each and every week. And now the Athletic reports that the Mets are shopping Pete Alonso. That would be epic. That would be horrible. I mean, that would just be brutal if the Mets did that. He's like the only reason right now anybody would watch the New York Mets. But nothing is surprising anymore. Nothing is surprising anymore with Steve Cohen as the owner. This guy's got money that he's just wasting and wasting and wasting. So we will see what happens. If Pete Alonso gets traded today, that would be a stunner indeed. And this is a great surprise. My old buddy Ivan Anderson is here. Ivan, of course, is in Canada, and he is a proud firefighter. It's good to see you, Ivan. It's been way too long, but I know I saw you a couple months ago right here on one of the broadcasts, but it's always good to see you, buddy. Ivan was one of my first viewers back in 2009 when I first started doing shows on Shovio. So, Ivan, thank you so much for coming by. It's always a pleasure to see you. And also Larry Hanlon. Thank you, Larry, too, for dropping by, as you do each and every week as well. So there's a lot of people here today, a lot of folks here in the chat room today. So thank you all for popping in. Manny says, no way, that would be crazy to trade him. I say the same thing to Manny, but nothing surprises me anymore in baseball. It's just so unpredictable. So I guess it's very possible that he could very well go. I mean, I don't know, maybe the West Coast, maybe to the Dodgers or the Angels or something like that. But why? I mean, why trade a bat that's going to bring you 40 home runs every year? I don't get it. I just don't get it. But we'll see what happens with a few hours to go before the deadline. This week's paper, a little different this week, but this front page is something that happened last week. There, I wish I had known a little bit more about this, but there were players from two Premier League teams in Kearny. Okay, we're talking about the most noted sports league maybe in the world. And there were players who were here. There were two teams. I forget the one team's name, but the other was from Newcastle United. And these are guys who are playing for the best in the best league in England. And they were here in the United States. There was a friendly game last week in Harrison, and they announced and opened up this new soccer pitch at Washington School. And it is partially funded by the English Premier League, EA Sports, and the Kearny school system. And it's going to be open for children to play. And it's the first of its kind in the United States. There are plenty of them already in England and in other locations. But this is the first one in the United States, and it's right here in Kearny. So when you see the headline Soccertown USA UK, you get the idea. You realize how fundamentally important the game of soccer is in this town and how it has the global reach that it does. And right here is where this pitch is at Washington School. So I hope you get a chance to see it. Governor Murphy was here on Thursday, as was a whole bunch of representatives from the town and the players from Newcastle United. A couple of the head coaches were here as well. So you don't get, I guess because soccer is not the most overwhelmingly popular sport in this area, people maybe not even realize how amazing it was that there were players here from this league. It is a very, very popular league that you can catch on NBC most of the time. So right here at Washington School, and I really have to give a real good pat on the back to Flora Encarnação, the superintendent of schools, who I am certain worked very hard with EA Sports and the English Premier League to make this happen. So very, very good stuff from there. We also welcome in Carol Manley, who is joining us from Bayville down the shore. She's probably with Mom right now, having a good time. So, Carol, hello. June, hello to you, too. We hope you're enjoying a beautiful day, and it is certainly a beautiful day. As we move into page number 2 today, this is probably the most important story of the week, and that is that the town of Kearny has a new interim mayor. His name is Peter Santana. Now, if it sounds like I'm introducing you to him, it's not, because I think some of you know him already, because he was and has been for the last 7 years a councilman in the town of Kearny in the 2nd Ward. Peter was appointed to the position of mayor by the town council a couple of weeks ago, and he was officially sworn in just last night at Town Hall. And he will be serving until November at least, depending on how the election goes in November, after Mayor Al Santos resigned to take the judgeship in Hudson County. And Pete is a great guy. I've known Pete for 7 years. I was right there with him the day he became a councilman, and he gave a speech at the Board of Health office to the town council. He is originally from Brazil, and he speaks 3 languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. Works for the Harrison Board of Education as an IT administrator. I think I forget the exact title, but I'm pretty certain he is basically like the director of information technology for the Harrison school system. He's married. He has a wife, and her name is Renata, and that's her photo right there on the screen with their son, Liam. And I had a chance to sit down with the mayor on the phone last week and interview him, and I hope you will take a chance and read the story, which is continued on the next page. Mayor Santana will be up for election on November the 7th, Right now, he faces a challenge from Councilwoman Carol Jean Doyle, and there could be others. We don't know just yet, but it is possible that there could be others who also look for that seat. But it'll be interesting to see how that race goes, to say the very least. But we congratulate Mayor Santana on becoming the new mayor of Kearny on an interim basis, and wish him all the best of luck. It is going to be a very interesting couple of months up to this election, to say the very least. Check that story out starting on page number 2. Now, Mike Guntarchuk is the new public information officer for the Kearny Police Department, and he's been sending over a lot of blotter items, but some of them have been so strong that they had to be pulled as regular stories, and this was one of them. It was a Bronx man who allegedly injured a Kearny resident and was charged with strangulation. There have been some pretty strong and scary things happening lately in town, and I hope you'll take the time to read them. There was another incident that you'll see later on in the paper as well, involving a man who was driving drunk and who smashed into a vehicle that had a family of 4 inside of it, and the guy just drove away. Didn't stop, drove away. They caught him, thank goodness, but he just drove away. And then the last one was absolutely the most one of the crazier ones. Another drunken driver who was asked by police where he was going and where he was coming from. He said he was in Newark traveling to Newark. So I think he was a little bit too sauced for that one. But please check out those items that are in this week's edition of the Observer, and we thank Mike Guntarchuk, of course, for sending us so many good blotter entries. Now, this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump so quickly right here on page number 5. This is the last installment of our summer road trip, which includes some tips on how to keep your blood circulating when you're on a long trip and you're driving, you're sitting for a long period of time. But we want to thank the participating advertisers here, including the Auto Detail Center, Abbott Milano Insurance, Nelson's Auto Body, and also Manny's Garage, who is not with it in this week, but has been, but he's not in it this week because he is closed for the month. The Red Cross is in dire need of blood. They need O negative mostly, but they'll take any donations. So if you have an opportunity to donate blood, please take it now, because there is a real big shortage. It's a true sad situation. So I hope you will consider that if you are in the physical and you're able to do so. Last week, you probably saw that a crane toppled over in Manhattan. Well, it turns out that the company that owned the crane in Manhattan also owns a crane company in Kearny. It's a different corporation name, but they have had cranes that have operated in New York City quite a bit, and they also have some that have even done some extensive work in Kearny, including at the Pulaski Skyway. So we have a recap of that and a little bit about that toppling. It was a very intriguing situation, to say the least, and luckily nobody was killed in that thing. But that crane toppled 45 stories to the ground. How no one was severely hurt is just remarkable. In sports, Jason Bernstein has 2 stories this week, but this is the big one. Megan McClellan, who is a graduate of Kearny High School, went on to Rutgers University, is now playing pro soccer. And she was signed by a team in San Diego, and you can read her story. Many of you remember Megan. Megan is a former athlete of the year, a Jim Hague athlete of the year from a couple of years ago. And she is just a phenomenal athlete. So it shouldn't be much of a surprise to see that she is faring so well and playing professional soccer right now. But there's just a lot of heavy soccer stuff this week. So we hope you'll check that out. We congratulate Megan on her ability to get to the professional world of sports. Larry Hanlon has a few comments here, so we'll just post that up there right now. And, of course, when that comes off the screen, was one from Ivan Anderson, who, of course, is himself a firefighter, That fire was devastating. It really was. And one of our former colleagues was on the scene, and he took photos for us that we have in the paper today. It was just, I still can't fathom that nobody was seriously hurt there. I mean, there were some cars that were driving along, and if it had been any closer, it would have been an absolute and utter disaster. So, fortunately, everybody was okay. 2 pages of classifieds this week, as we do each and every week, so please check those out if you're looking for a place to live or if you need a job or anything like that. There's quite a few job openings for the town of Kearny, too, and those are always good because they pay well, they have benefits, so if you're qualified, make sure you fill out an application and get yourself some new work. And that's it. This went fast. It's 44 minutes past the hour. Can I sit here with you on the Observer Live? I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. Special thanks to Ivan Anderson, to Larry Hanlon. I did not realize this now. It got lost in the shuffle. Melanie Ryan is also here. And we welcome Melanie in, too. Carol Manley. Joe Soto is here, too. I missed that. Joe, I am so sorry. Joe Soto, my goodness. I haven't seen Joe in probably 20 years, but Joe's a very dear and old friend of mine. He's a graduate of St. Anthony's, and we used to work on retreats together. Joe, if you're still around, it's good to see you, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't catch you right away, but always a pleasure to see you, buddy. Joe lives in Florida now, and he was a great baseball player for the Friars of St. Anthony's. And Manny, Larry, Ivan, everybody else, and my Uncle Mike, thank you all for coming by. Don't forget, we will return 1 week from today unless anything new breaks before then. And if we do, we will join you live right as it happens. So, from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again for popping by, and take care. See you soon. Bye.